hi, I just had a really cool experience. If you don't know me, here's some background. If you do know me, here's some background. It's good. Get to know me again. Some background. So, I teach math. I am also in college and I'm taking classes to get a master's in math. And in between my math classes, I take a bunch of religion classes, and that's basically my life right now. Like, I learn about math and I learn about God, and it's amazing. But so the last two religion classes that I've taken, one was last night, and then one was just a couple hours ago. So this afternoon, I think it was at like 1 o'clock, so barely afternoon. But anyway, they taught the same lesson, like straight up. I mean, they used different words and they had different transitions and different scriptures that they referenced, but they taught the same lesson, like same diagram, same question, same like. It was the same lesson. It was crazy. And it was so similar that I texted my instructor from the night before, and I was like, "Yo, did you two like plan this together? There's no way. Like how am I having the exact same experience like not even 12, well, a little over 12 hours later, like 16ish hours later. Anyway, within 24 hours." And she texted back and she was like, "No, dude, that's crazy." She didn't use those words, but that was basically the vibe of what she said. And she was like, "No, but that has to be something that God wants you to know right now." And I was like, I was thinking the exact same thing. And the lesson that they both taught was actually something that I had learned like a month ago or so after I broke up with my fiance, and I was like, I need to figure out my life and become a better person and blah, 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 blah. And I downloaded this app that was like, psychologists have developed this app to help you become a better person. And I was like, sick, sign me up. And so I downloaded this app, and it has like self-care, self-help, like understanding your trauma so you don't like give other people trauma and like repeat the past over and like that kind of an app. And so I read these lessons and then forgot about them. Well, not forgot, but like I didn't do anything with them. But one of the lessons was like cognitive distortions and like ways that your brain will see a situation and be like, "Oh, I'm not good enough because blah 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 blah." And so it's like you can overgeneralize, you can jump to conclusions, you can like do all these things. And I had this lesson like a month ago, and then I did nothing with it. I was like, "Oh, I do those things," and then did no personal growth. And then last night and today, two of my religion teachers, back to back, they were like, "Dude, you need to think better about yourself, about the world around you. Like, your brain is just putting all these thoughts in there that aren't, like, just because your brain thinks it doesn't mean it's true," was the vibe of the lesson. And I was looking over the notes, and I was looking over the lesson I learned from this app, and I was just thinking about all the things and all the ways that my brain is not where I want it to be, and all of these patterns that I have. And I was just freaking out because I was like, man, I don't know that I'm ever going to get over this. Like, I am so good at jumping to conclusions or overgeneralizing or whatever the cognitive distortion is. Like, I'm so quick to just trust my brain that it's like, everyone hates you, and I'm like, sick, I knew it. Like, even though that's not the case. And anyway, I was super stressed, I was worried about it, and I was like feeling really bad about myself, and I'm like, I don't know that I'm ever gonna get this. And then I looked at the time, and I was like, oh crap, I have to go teach. And so I ran across the street to my college campus, where I teach, and I taught a lesson on the unit circle, which, oh my goodness gracious, I freaking love the unit circle. It's so much fun, and there's triangles, and there's right angles, and there's trig functions, and it's just, it's beautiful. But it's taken me a long time to figure out the unit circle and, like, all of the ratios and where they come from and all the things. And my students have a quiz on the unit circle next week, and so I've spent the entire semester, like, not day one. Day one, we had, like, introduction, syllabus, here's a pre-test for the semester so that our software knows where you're at, and blah, 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 blah. But day two, I was like, all right, guys, there's a quiz coming up, and it's a beast and a half. Like, oh my goodness, to figure out all of the unit circle and then be able to write it all down within 10 minutes is insane. So we're gonna start now. Like, the quiz is 3 weeks away. I don't care. We're starting today. And anyway, so for the last about 3 weeks or so, pretty much every class, I'm like, here's the unit circle, here's all the things, like, here's some tips and tricks to remember what it is. And like, today we went over the actual right triangles within the unit circle and how it all works and all the numbers and all the things and blah, blah, blah. And all my students were just looking at me like, what the heck are you, which is fair, because it's a lot, because it's like, oh man, it's so much information. And then I don't write the lesson plans that I teach. I'm told to teach these lesson plans. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But so anyway, there's this lesson plan, and it was like all of this information you're gonna do today, and I was like, holy crap, guys. But anyway, so I was like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is the thing. And so they're going through the unit circle, and at one point, one of my students looks at me and they're like, is this like the ABCs for you? Because for the last 3 weeks, you've drawn a unit circle from start to finish, which isn't entirely true. I did like the first half for the first 2 weeks, and then we're on the second half during this week and next week for the quiz. Anyway, but they're like, you've been drawing unit circles all semester long, like, and you do it so fast. And I try not to. I try to slow down, but I'm also like, but we have other things we need to do, so I try to go like, anyway. But they're like, you just do it so fast. It has to be like ABCs for you. Like, you just have to understand this so well. And I was taken aback. I was like, no, like, it's still tricky, and I've taken time to learn the unit circle, but I wouldn't say it's like the ABCs. I mean, I guess it kind of is, the fact that it's like, it's something that I've memorized and I've used so much that when I need it, I can like recite it. So in that sense, it is the ABCs. But like using the unit circle, just like using the alphabet, like it takes more brain power and all these things. But I was taken aback because I was like, dude, I remember being in high school learning about the unit circle, 10, 11 years ago now, and feeling that same way of like, I'm never gonna get this. This is too hard. There are too many things to think about. The exact same way I was feeling today when I was thinking about cognitive distortions and like trying to improve myself. I was like, I am never gonna get this. And then to have one of my students say, dude, you get this. Like, you get this so well, it's like the freaking ABCs for you. And just, I don't know, and forcing me to have a moment where I just thought for a moment and saw the growth that I've had and just had faith and hope again that I can have more growth. And I just really needed that today. So I'm super grateful for that. There's a song that I really like that I use I have alarms throughout the day to remind me to like take a few deep breaths, and I never do, but it's there just in case I decide to do it. But it always has this song playing, and I figured this would be a good song to sing, because what's a TikTok if I'm not singing, you know what I mean? Anyway, in the midst of my confusion, in the time of desperate need, when I'm thinking not too clearly, a gentle voice does intercede. Slow down, slow down, be still, and wait on the Spirit of the Lord. Slow down and hear His voice, and know that He is God. And I just really needed that today. There are a lot of things I need to improve and a lot of work to be done, but if I slow down and just trust God, I will grow. I've grown before. I'm gonna do it again with Him. It's all gonna be okay. So, anyway, hope you have a good day. Bye.